So you've clicked on this video, you've already seen the title. The law of attraction completely changed my life and saved my life at just the age of 17 years old. In today's video, we're going to be talking about three things. Firstly, what is the law of attraction? Secondly, how it actually changed my life. And thirdly, how you can apply it to your life so that it changes your life. Whatever you're going through right now, some people might be going through heartbreak. Some people, they may not be in the physique they want. They may be out of shape. Maybe they're skinny. Maybe they're overweight. Maybe they haven't got a lot of money. Maybe they're, starting a business and they're failing. Whatever you're going through, the law of attraction can be applied to anything in this life. What is the law of attraction? The best way, unless I read it off of the definition of the internet, is the best way I can describe it is it's the thought that whatever you think up here most of the time, you will attract. And the easiest way I can explain this is if you're always thinking about negative things, you're not going to do things that a positive thinker would do. For example, if I'm always have you ever noticed someone get really angry? They're always getting angry. They're always in a bad mood. They're always having arguments. You don't see them waking up early, reading books, going for runs. If you do, it's very unlikely, but for the sake of this video, you haven't seen anyone do that. So if I'm always thinking negatively, I'm not going to want to wake up early. I'm not going to want to go for a run. Whereas if I'm always thinking positively, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to put on that muscle. I'm not going to be skinny anymore like I was skinny. I'm always going to want to go to the gym. I'm going to be pumped up. I'm going to build the discipline to do what it takes, right? So that's the law of attraction summarized. I hope I explained that well. The law of attraction, basically, whatever you think up here, after a long enough period of time, will be your reality. Because your thoughts lead to your... thoughts lead to your mood. Your mood dictates what you do. If you're really angry with someone in an argument, you're not going to want to sit and read a book. You're angry. That different emotions lead to different types of actions, and that emotion is caused by what you think. And we all know to be successful or whatever you want to achieve in life requires specific actions. And if your actions are getting interrupted by your mood, then you need to trace that back to what you're thinking up here. Most likely you're thinking negatively. You need to fix that. If you want to apply the law of attraction to your life and you want to see benefit in it, you need to start thinking correctly. Number 2, how did it change my life? So you know what the law of attraction is now. I was skinny, I was out of shape, I was skinny and I was unconfident. No one respected. I felt weak. People were picking on me all the time. But I'll be honest, I was going out drinking, smoking, the usual stuff, hanging around the wrong group of people, right? I'm sure some of you might be able to relate. If not, I was out of shape, I was unconfident. My life just wasn't really going anywhere. I was in a downward spiral. There's a downward spiral. You start hanging around the wrong people, you start procrastinating, playing games, watching porn. Basically, I was in a never-ending downward loop, and I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Until I realized I'm in this downward spiral. All I'm thinking about is negative. Oh, this is bad, this is bad. I'm just always thinking, I'm in such a bad mood. How am I ever going to escape this? Because as we know, our thoughts impact our mood impacts my actions. So unless I change my thoughts, my actions were always going to lead me down this downward spiral. So I started thinking about, enough is enough. I'm already at rock bottom. Why not try and be something? I don't want to get back to normal. I want to try and become something great. And I'd like to say my physique-wise, firstly, and my mindset-wise, I have already achieved that greatness. Nowhere near where I want to be, of course not. But to look back to where I was 1 or 2 years ago, I've completely changed as a person. And any people who know me will agree the same. So that's how it changed my life. I started thinking positively. I started thinking, why don't I start waking up earlier? Why don't I start building discipline? Let me become something. Everything starts with a thought. If you want to be a professional football player, you have to first think and believe, and that's all up here. Okay, it's not about how good you are at running and kicking a ball. Of course, that plays a big part. pardon me, but mainly it's all about your thought and your self-belief, because along the journey you're going to have people tell you you can't do this, you know, you're delusional, you're stupid. And to keep going through that, you have to have the right mindset. So that's how it changed my life. You know what the law of attraction is. Your thoughts will lead to what you want in life. So start thinking about money, start thinking about a good physique, start thinking about a nice family, a nice wife, whatever it is that you want to attract into your life, and you'll start thinking about it correctly. Well, yeah, start thinking about it and you will attract that. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. So you understand what it is, you understand how it changed my life. How can it change your life? The simplest way, you need to start thinking about what you want. There's different things called frequencies and energies. I don't want to get too deep into it, right? There's a book. Wait there, I'm gonna grab a book quickly. We're doing no cuts, by the way. If you guys are really, I know some people might learn better through videos like this, but if you guys are interested, I would highly recommend this book. It's called The Secret, and it's basically talking about the law of attraction. Basically talking about the law of attraction and frequencies and energies, and how what you think about impacts your moods, and that's basically where I learned that from, okay? And back a couple years ago, that was the book that I read that actually completely, I wouldn't say changed my life, because obviously the book didn't do anything. The book didn't lift the weights in the gym. The book didn't, you know what I mean, do the work, record the videos. The book didn't do any of that, but it changed my mindset, and my mindset led to me doing this. So it played a huge part. I'd highly recommend that book. It's called The Secret. But some of you may learn better from watching these videos. So what I want you to apply from today's video is start thinking about what you want to do, and you'll start to notice if you're, and start to pay attention to your thoughts, okay? If you're always in a bad mood, pay attention to how when you're in a bad mood, or when you're sad, you end up, not that I get sad anymore, but when you're not in a good mood, you end up doing things that you wouldn't do if you're in a good mood. For example, you might be scrolling your phone, you might just be sat in bed, you might be just sat on the sofa, not doing a lot. Whereas if you're thinking, yeah, I can do this, I need to get in good shape, and you're always thinking about that, you're not going to want to just sit there and scroll on your phone. You're going to want to change your actions and start going to the gym, which is naturally going to give you the result. All started with changing what you're thinking about. So you now learn the 3 principles on the law of attraction. Well, I say 3 principles. You've learned what it is, you've learned how it changed my life as evidence that it can change your life. If I were to watch this video back then, I'd think, yeah, but the thing is that I was watching so many of these videos, watching other people do it, other people. You have to actually apply it. You now have this information, which is extremely valuable information. You now have to apply it into your day-to-day lives. Okay, that's the part that's actually going to move the ball, get the ball rolling, whatever you want to call it. And once you start to think positively, start going to the gym, you know how I told you about how I was in a downward spiral? That could have been an upward spiral, and it pretty damn was. It was. When I started to improve, I started waking up early, I started going to the gym, I started reading that book that I told you about. It was an upward spiral. I started doing one positive, then another. So as much. Okay, so you may have noticed a change in the lighting. Basically, I just finished making the video. I just finished making the video. I check. It says iPhone storage full. So I had to delete a couple of videos in my camera or whatever. I've been paying monthly. I've actually increased how much I'm paying every month, and it's still saying storage is full. So Apple, if you're watching this, I feel blessed, but you need to fix your storage up. But yeah, what I was saying was kind of where we left off. I was in an upward spiral. And if you look at the first thing that I did to start that upward spiral was I got in good shape. So I would highly recommend to you, it is essential. Every man must be in good shape. If you can't take care of yourself, how do you expect to take care of your wife, your kids, your family? You know, how do you expect to take care of your business? If you can't take care of yourself, your own self, if you can't take care of that, you've got bigger problems to worry about. And I was in that position. I was extremely skinny. So if you're skinny right now and you're looking to put on muscle, you want to get in good shape, Go in the description and you'll see my Instagram username. Go type that name into Instagram, DM me the word change, and let's start your transformation. If you're skinny specifically, not if you're overweight, if you're skinny and you're looking to put on muscle and get in good shape, just like I did in 6 months. I was inconsistent. I didn't train for a month, and then I did a bit. So you can look at a completely different person or a completely different version of you in the mirror in 90 days. And I can guarantee you that. 90 days, you'll be a completely different version of yourself. DM me the word change on Instagram and let's start your transformation. Thank you for watching today's video. Go out there, apply it. As I said, information's useless unless you actually go out and apply it. Like this video as well, because not for my sake, for the sake of other people that may have been in the situation that I was. Other people may have been in the situation that you are. You know, they're not in good shape, they don't have a lot of money, or they're just gone through a breakup. And I'd appreciate, in exchange for all of the value I've given you guys today, to go click the like button, subscribe, and that video will get pushed out to, more people that need to hear this message. So the law of attraction changed my life. It can change yours as well. Go and apply it, and I'll see you in the next video.